John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and what I'm going to do in this episode is share with you guys the best way to get more vegetables in you. So congratulations, if you clicked on this video, you probably don't like vegetables or don't like them too much, and maybe you even hate them. But you know that they are beneficial and that you should be getting more into. So before I share with you guys the best way to get more vegetables in you, I want to first share with you guys why they're important and why you should get them into. Maybe this will motivate you a little bit to, power on through and start eating more vegetables. Number two, I want to share with you guys some ways that are not so good at getting more vegetables into you and why. And then three, and finally, share with you guys the best and my favorite way to get more vegetables personally into me, even if you don't like them, right? It's very simple, and I have some really good strategies to do this. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the 10 reasons why it's important to eat your vegetables. I mean, the government tells us this, our teachers tell us this, everybody tells us this, but let's get into my top 10 reasons why it's super important. Okay, number one, you're going to lose weight when you eat more vegetables. Why is this? Well, vegetables, as you guys can see, I have plenty of vegetables on display here today, but vegetables are very high in phytonutrients, phytochemicals, vitamins, and minerals, and consequently, they're also very low in calories. Most of what you guys have been eating to this point probably are high-calorie foods and low-nutrient foods. These are standard foods in the American diet: fast foods, junk foods, animal products, things in packages, bottles, and jars, cookies, candies, cakes. They all have a lot of calories but low nutrients, so your body suffers. When you could have some of these high nutrient foods with low calorie foods, they tend to fill you up faster, give your body the nutrients they need, and you'll be able to easily shed the weight. I have friends that have gone on juice fasts for a period of time, just drink juice for nothing but 3 days or 7 days or 14 days or even 30 days, and they lose a lot of weight. If you want to be motivated, check out a film on Netflix, maybe it's available on YouTube these days, called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. This guy basically went on a juice fast and he lost tons of weight, but more importantly, got healthier. The second reason why you want to eat your fruits and vegetables, or especially the vegetables, is you will have more energy. Besides fruits and vegetables having nutrients, they also have healthy sources of carbohydrates, which are going to fuel your body and give you clean fuel. It's like if you take your car to the gas station and they left the top off the gas storage tank and water got in there, so when you filled up your car with gas and water, wouldn't run too well. It's not the right fuel. The right fuel for us, we were designed, if you take a look at our digestive system and our teeth and everything, we're designed to eat fruits and vegetables. And so you're going to have more energy because of it. Number three, you're going to be more focused, right? The reason why I say this is because this is from my personal experience. I'm much more focused when I eat healthy food. You all know that. You've had times when you maybe eat healthier, like, wow, man, I could think better. My thoughts are more clear. I'm more focused. I could get better work done. Whatever you want to do in life, you'll be more focused if you feed your body the right nutrition. And that is contained in the vegetables as well as the fruits. Number four reason is the fruits and vegetables, they're anti-aging and you will look younger. I know a lot of you guys out there are vain, checking your hair, brushing it every 5 minutes, putting your makeup on if you're a lady and all this stuff. You want to look good, right? One of the easiest ways to look good, get rid of your acne and all this kind of stuff, is get on a fruit and vegetable-centric diet. Especially the vegetables, they're high in phytonutrients and phytochemicals. What are these things? These are special plant compounds. Like today we have cherry tomatoes from my garden. These contain lycopene, right? The carrots over here have beta-carotene. These are all very powerful antioxidants that prevent free radical damage that happen to us every day. We're breathing, living, and all this stuff. And when you eat junk foods, processed foods, chips and candy and fast foods and animal products, they basically age you. They cause the free radical damage to occur at a much faster rate, whereas, fruits and vegetables are like putting water on the fire. It squelches out that fire, it squelches out that free radical damage so that you can look younger. I mean, people commonly say that I look about 10 years younger than I actually am, and that's because I've been living on this diet now for the last 21 years. And just because you haven't started eating fruits and vegetables, or especially the vegetables yet, it's never too late. If you're still breathing, there is time for you to make a change, right? A lot of friends I know, they don't start making changes until they're in their 40s and 50s. And this is when it's very important to start making changes, because especially if you've been living not the right way, not the healthiest way, your body starts to break down. You could get through maybe your teens and 20s, maybe even your 30s in fairly good health eating junk food, but at a certain point your body is going to be at that tipping point, right? You're going to be on that teeter-totter, and your body's going to be like, all right, man, I put up with all this junk food and fast food and all this stuff for so long, and now I can't handle it anymore, and that's when your health really starts to go downhill, and then you really got to get serious about this, right? I want to encourage you guys to start, including more vegetables before your health starts degrading. And if your guys' health is degrading, I would encourage you, without further ado, get into eating vegetables specifically, and even more fruits. They're definitely some of the healthiest foods on the planet. Number 5, of course, you're going to be healthier because you're eating more fruits and vegetables. As I mentioned earlier, the fruits and vegetables have vitamins and minerals, and more importantly, the phytochemicals. And I want you guys to eat a phytochemical-rich diet. Yeah, you could take vitamin supplements and get your vitamins, and take mineral supplements to get your minerals, but these phytonutrients are very delicate and fragile, and they're the gift that's given to us in foods. I mean, beets have anthocyanidins in them and betalains, and that makes up their deep, rich color. This little radish right here that I grew in my garden, it has isothiocyanates, and these are anti-cancer, right? So you're going to be healthy. You're going to be basically protecting yourself from disease by eating these valuable plant compounds. And let me tell you, like, even in this Swiss chard that I grew, it's green, so it's got the chlorophyll in there. It also has the lutein and zeaxanthin. It's good for your eyes. It also has red pigments because the stalk is red. And all these different pigments do something different in the body, and that's why it's very important to eat a wide spectrum of the fruits and vegetables. And yeah, just eating more of these guys, you're just going to be healthier because of it. Number 6 reason why you should eat your vegetables specifically is because you will have a better quality of life, right? My brother, he's about 2 years younger than me, and he, has recently pulled muscles in his arm, and, gets back pains and all this kind of stuff, and I live pain-free. So, I know a lot of you guys may be waking up with pain each and every day and all this stuff, and taking, ibuprofen or drugs or whatever you're taking for it, medicinal herbs, whatever you guys are on. And, that's not necessarily a solution to the problem. Like, if your check engine light on your car comes on, check engine, you don't just put a piece of tape over it and ignore it and that fixes the problem. Well, that, in my opinion, is what you're doing when you're doing drugs and other things to, solve your back issues. The main thing is that our bodies are amazing healing machines, right? Our bodies can heal themselves. We're gifted with all the knowledge we need to heal ourselves. But the problem is that you're not putting the right fuel or giving your body the right nutrients so that it has all the building blocks. If you're trying to build a skyscraper and you have hay bales, right? That's not going to work. That's not the right building blocks to build a skyscraper. You need rebar, you need concrete, you need all steel, you need all that stuff, right, to build a skyscraper, really tall. Got to have the right building blocks, and the vegetables especially are the right building blocks, so you can have a higher quality of life, so that you'll live free of pain. I mean, I barely ever get stomach aches. I barely ever get sick, right, anymore after eating a fruit and vegetable dominated diet. Reason number 7 to eat your vegetables is because you will live longer. And if you have a higher quality of life, so you're in good shape and being able to still keep up with people 20 years younger than you, like we talked about earlier, you're going to live longer, and you're going to have a higher quality of life and live longer and be able to enjoy the gift of life for much longer. And even in your more mature years, you're going to have the vitality, the vibrancy of somebody young, and this doesn't happen in this day and age. When you think of people getting old, you think of somebody old and decrepit in a nursing home. This does not have to be if you eat the right foods. We are made, you are what you eat, or you are what you eat and absorb. And by eating especially the vegetables, you will be healthier, and studies have shown you will live longer because of it. All right? Number 8 reason, what are we doing? 8 reason to eat your vegetables is because you will be more attractive. Whether you already have a mate, husband or wife, or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, you will be more attractive to them if you eat your highly pigmented vegetables. They have studies on this. You could search it on different websites, but there's studies that show the more colors you eat in your food, the more attractive you are. You could have like a natural kind of suntan or, tanned look because of the fruit and vegetables that you eat. I mean, people go to tanning salons. That's a waste of money in my opinion. You need to eat more fruits and vegetables. Like if some people, if they eat too many carrots, you're having orange tinge to you. It's not harmful or anything like that, but nonetheless, eating all these highly pigmented foods will basically pigment your skin because, if you eat something like blueberries, for example, they're highly pigmented, right? You eat blueberries, your pee doesn't come out purple, right? Where do all those pigments go? Our body sucks those up and it goes into every cell of our body so you can have a nice, deeply, richly pigmented skin. Some people call it a raw glow or vegetable glow, right? You could get that if you eat the vegetables, especially the highly pigmented ones. So be more attractive. Especially could help you guys out if you guys are single out there. And maybe even spice up your love life if you're not. All right. So reason number 9 to eat your vegetables. This is important to me. I almost lost my life when I was in my 20s. Almost did not make it out of the hospital alive. Number 9 is disease prevention. Vegetables are the most important food on the entire planet. If you want to disease-proof yourself, if your mom had breast cancer, your dad had prostate cancer, somebody in your family had a different kind of cancer, colon cancer, right? Why did they get that? Well, I'm not a doctor, I couldn't tell you, but all I can tell you is that there are studies that show the more fruits and vegetables that you eat, there are protective benefits in there, like I talked about earlier. There's protective benefits of the little radish here, right? It's anti-cancerous. Same thing with this cruciferous vegetable, these collard greens that I grew in my garden. They have anti-cancer properties in every different vegetable, whether they're, different kinds of peppers that have high vitamin C content, actually more than oranges, or the carrots with the beta-carotene. Actually, carrots even have anti-cancer properties due to some studies. These are anti-disease foods, and most people unfortunately eat disease-promoting foods. If Al-Qaeda made a diet and they want to wipe out everybody, they'd feed everybody American food because these foods will put you 6 feet under faster than anything else because they have low phytonutrients, right, and high calories instead of high phytonutrients and low calories. So reason number 10 to eat your vegetables is because they are the most nutritious foods in the world. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but you just don't understand that, even a small amount of vegetables is worth a large amount of just like enriched cereals, for example, right? They have more phytonutrients and phytochemicals, vitamins and minerals, and more importantly, life-giving water, right? All the fruits and vegetables you guys see here are full of water. We are full of water. We're 70% water, right? People are mostly eating dehydrated foods, things that have been cooked. You cook the water out of them. Packaged foods, dried foods, cookies and candies. These are all dried foods. They dehydrate you, right? The vegetables and the fruits, have a high water content, high vitamin and mineral content. They're the best nutrition in the whole planet. This is why supplements were created, right? Supplements and vitamin supplements and things were created for people to supplement their inadequate diet. And if you're eating fast food, junk foods, and processed foods and things, out of the grocery store that are not fruits and vegetables and whole, real plant foods, right, you will likely be deficient. But if you eat a good quantity and variety of plant foods, you will not need to be deficient and you will not need supplements. The vegetables especially, some of the best nutrition on the planet. So hopefully after listening to these 10 reasons why you should include some of these vegetables in your diet, we're going to next get into some of the ways that people normally include them in their diet if they hate them. So some of the common ways that people say you should get your vegetables in if you hate them are like, number 1, douse them in salt and oil and fry them up or put them in the oven and bake them or saute them, right? Oh yeah, you'll definitely like them then because we love things that are fatty, and salty, right? We have receptors that really light us up that make things taste good. Now, as much as getting some, baked, beets with salt and oil are better for you than maybe like some Nutter Butter cookies, right? That's not the best because you're not really going to be able to maximize the nutrients you're getting. Plus, if you are cooking any of the vegetables, you lose some of the valuable, vitamins and minerals. Well, and mostly you lose the phytochemicals, which are the most important active ingredients of the vegetables, and they are delicate and can be damaged, through heat and oxidation, especially high heat. That's actually the worst, because also at high heat you may be creating toxic compounds that you'll also be eating. Another way people say you should get your vegetables in is by something like this guy right here. This is known as the NutriBullet. And there's a popular infomercial on TV now, whether it's a NutriBullet, the Magic Bullet, the Nutra Ninja. I mean, whatever it is, they recommend, oh yeah man, blending. That's a really good way to get your vegetables in. Now, definitely blending, in my opinion, is better than frying them up or baking your vegetables to get them in. But the problem with this is that they still leave a nice, really gritty texture. And I know some of you guys don't like your vegetables because when you chew your vegetables, whether it's a beet or a carrot or radish or celery, it's that texture and then that fiber that gets in there. You just hate it and you can't deal with it, right? So this may not be the best way. Plus, just like when you bake or cook your vegetables, you lose some of the valuable phytonutrients. When you blend the vegetables up, you also lose phytonutrients even though there's no heat involved, and that's because there's air involved. So as soon as you turn this blender on, it creates a little vortex inside the machine, much like if you live in Kansas and there's a tornado that comes down and they could rip your houses up and spew it all over in a million pieces, right? Well, the blender takes the vegetables and breaks it up, which is good because we do need to break the vegetables up so that we could get optimal absorption out of them. And if you're eating vegetables, I do encourage you guys to use your best blenders in the whole world that you're given free, your teeth, and chew it up into a mush. But the blender does that at a high speed, creates a vortex, and as it pulls everything into the vortex, it blasts open the fibrous cell walls, releases those valuable phytonutrients, and because of all of the air, the phytonutrients are oxidized, and you lose a lot of the valuable phytonutrients, right? So yeah, the blending of the phytonutrients is not so essential. Now, before I get into actually sharing with you guys the best way to get more vegetables in you, I want to go over real quick some of the vegetables on the table I have today. So of course we got the celery over here on both sides. Celery is really rich in electrolytes, and every vegetable has its certain phytochemicals and phytonutrients and a balance of vitamins and minerals that are important to you. So I don't necessarily say always eat celery, right? I would say, always rotate and include as many different varieties of the vegetables as you guys can, because each different vegetable has many researched and even unresearched nutrients in there that are going to be good for us. I mean, yeah, so that's the celery. Here we got the Swiss chard. Over here we got the collard greens. Here we got some pumpkins. Yes, pumpkins. They're definitely really good, especially the outer coloring of the skin, really good to eat. We got peppers, considered vegetables, orange, yellow, and this cool striped tiger pepper here. We got tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. We got the standard Campari tomatoes. We got a little radish here. Oh, can't forget the carrots. Carrots are an amazing root vegetable that you guys should consume, as well as, the beets. There's been a lot of studies lately on beets and how important beets are, for athletic performance and also for helping you, clear out your blood vessels if you've been having challenges like that. And then over here, you're kind of wondering what these guys are. We have these guys. These are known as Armenian cucumbers. So I like the Armenian cucumbers because they are sweeter than standard cucumbers. They don't have that bitter skin. And even my more favorite one are these guys. These are known as the striped Armenians, or snake cucumbers. Alright. So anyways, now that you guys got introduced to all my vegetables, I'm going to come back and show you guys the best way to get more vegetables in you. So the best way to get more vegetables in you is simply by juicing them. Maybe you've seen like juice infomercials in the 1990s. Actually, that's how I got reintroduced into juicing in the 90s, and have been juicing myself ever since. I saw a Juice Man infomercial, Jay Kordich, and he said something that was very important to me. It's the juice of the fiber that feeds you. Think about that, right? It's all the nutrients that are contained within the juice that feeds us. It really feeds our body. Our bodies, we cannot digest fiber, and I'm not going to say that fiber is not important. Fiber is actually important to us, but in my opinion, the phytonutrients and phytochemicals are even more important. If you guys are still eating animal products, dairy, eggs, chicken, fish, ice cream, milk, yogurt, all that stuff, has no fiber. So don't be saying like, oh, juice is not good because it doesn't have fiber. Well, you're eating a lot of stuff that already doesn't have fiber in it, right? But here's the thing. The thing is that fiber is in a lot of foods. You know, a lot of processed foods don't contain fiber, but processed foods also do contain fiber. Anything from a plant contains fiber. And even when you juice your vegetables, you know, you get some fiber depending on what vegetable or fruit you're juicing. I'll put a link down below to a video I did called Juice Contains More Than Just Fiber. And in that video I reveal, you know, even something like carrot juice has approximately 50% fiber in the glass of carrot juice that you're making, because there's two kinds of fiber, soluble and insoluble fiber. I'm not really going to get into more of that in this video, but check that link down below if you guys want to watch that episode. But anyways, in juice you're getting fiber, and if you want additional fiber in your juice because you believe it is important, is after you're done juicing, you know, in the pulp catch bin in the back of the Breville Juice Fountain Elite or on the side of the Slow Star juicer, take some of that fiber and put it back in the juice to get more fiber if that's what you want, right? And the reason why I don't like the blending is because it does it at high speed. And likewise, with the juicing, there's many different kinds of juicers on the market, right? Just like there's many kinds of different cars. I mean, you could buy a Hummer or you could get a Toyota Prius, right? The Prius is going to get way better gas mileage than the Hummer, but they'll both get you from A to B, point A to point B, right? And same thing with the juicers. All the juicers will basically make your juice, turn your vegetables into a liquid, and also separate out the fiber, and it's the juice that feeds you, remember? Like the juice man Jay Cordage said. But each one does it a little bit differently. So for example, these high-speed machines that are very popular, relatively inexpensive, work very fast, right? It's going to make a juice for you, and I'll always say that any juice is better for you than not drinking the juice, right? I want you guys to get your vegetables in, but in the same token, I want you guys to get the most nutritious vegetables in. And if you're going to take the time to juice, you know, what's 5 minutes maybe in the Breville to juice and clean up compared to maybe 9 or 10 minutes in the Slow Star, right? That's how long it takes me to use one of these slow juicers, because there's benefits to using a slow extraction compared to the fast extraction. The main benefit, as documented by scientific studies, I'll put a link down below in the description to the video where I go into this in detail, is that they've done testing where they took broccoli. They put broccoli through a blender that ran 10,000 RPMs, a high-speed juicer that runs at high RPMs, and a slow juicer. And in that test, they checked for the most important nutrients in the vegetables. What are they? I mentioned it earlier. Right, polyphenols, you guys got it. The polyphenols, the antioxidants, and the phytochemicals are the most important things. So they tested this, and in the slow juicer, it created and had more available polyphenols and phytonutrients after they extracted it with either a slow juicer, fast juicer, or a blender. Now, that's really cool that the phytonutrients and polyphenols were higher, but the thing is, how does that affect things in your body? Well, I don't know if they've done studies in your body, but they've done studies outside your body. So one of the things, that seems to me that happens a lot is I just recently had a friend lose their life of cancer, and then actually just recently my uncle was diagnosed with cancer. Like, I want a disease for myself. I don't want to get cancer, and I'm just not going to let myself be a sitting duck and be scared of cancer. I'm going to do everything I can to disease-proof or cancer-proof myself. And, they have studies on things like garlic and onions and things like broccoli and cabbage and bok choy and cauliflower and, radishes and arugula. All these things, kale, all these things have anti-cancer compounds. And when you juice them, juice fresh vegetables raw, put them through the juicer, you're getting copious amounts of these anti-cancer, compounds in there. And so what they did was they took the slow juice, the high-speed juice, and the blended broccoli, and they basically took the output, put it in a petri dish with live cancer cells. And the slow juicer, overall, I think they tested like 6 different strains of cancer cells. Overall, the cancer did not replicate as quickly, like 50% as fast as, the cancer in the high-speed juicer or the blender. So what does that mean? That means in a slow juicer, you're going to have a 50% better, cancer reduction, or whatever, you know, they call it. So you're going to be more disease proof by investing a little bit more time to make your juice. And that's what I want for you guys, right? This is just one study that shows the benefits of slow juicing with cancer. And there's so many different phytochemicals discovered and undiscovered. What else does a high-speed oxidation do to your juice? You know, it probably doesn't mess up the minerals too much. You know, some of the yields on the high-speed juicer, like if you're juicing the most important vegetables, in my opinion, are the leafy greens. You're juicing leafy greens in this, you're basically wasting your leafy greens. Leafy greens are quite expensive, and when you put leafy greens through here, your yields will not be as good as when you use a slow machine. Plus, besides the yields being better in a slow machine, you're also going to have higher levels of those phytonutrients. So that's why I choose the slow star juicer, which is a slow vertical auger juicer, runs at a slow speed, so you're going to have greater levels of phytonutrients and phytochemicals, which means more disease proofing and more benefits for you, because, you know, I want to save time and get the most benefits, and as much as this is going to save me time, it's not going to give me the most benefits. So why shortchange yourself and get the best benefits by using a slow juicer? So what I'd like to do for you guys next is actually make a simple juice in the slow juicer that I believe anybody will enjoy, and then I'll show you guys how to basically doctor up so you could eat, you know, more vegetables by simply juicing them. So now I'm all ready to juice with the slow star juicer and show you guys how I'm going to basically hide my vegetables in the juice and have the juice taste so good that it easily, anybody that even hates vegetables will love it. And I'm going to share with you guys my specific tips and techniques to do that. But basically, to go over it really quick, why do I really like juicing to hide the vegetables, right? There's a lot of reasons, okay? So, number one, it allows you to supersize the amount of vegetables you're going to get into. For example, if you're just to basically eat some carrots, right? You could eat a carrot, and yeah, you might not like the texture, you might not like the flavor. You could cook the carrots, you know, you could saute them, you could blend them up even. If you blend carrots, it's a horrible texture. But nonetheless, basically, you'll be able to eat a certain quantity of carrots, right? But if you juice the carrots, say we juice just simply 1 pound of carrots through the juicer, right? We're getting rid of all that fiber, a lot of the stuff that you guys might not like the texture anyways, and we're concentrating down 1 pound of carrots into simply 1 cup, only 8 ounces of juice, and literally you're extracting all the nutrition, virtually the majority of the nutrition, out of the carrots, putting it into the juice so that the juice or the fiber can feed you, right? And so that's what the juicer does. It supersizes the vegetables. I mean, you could eat a salad. My brother might eat a salad of 5 ounces of spinach. That's a pittance, in my opinion. My goal every day is to eat 2 pounds of the leafy greens. Leafy greens are the most important food on the entire planet, and whether that's spinach, leafy greens, arugula, kale, collard greens, bok choy, lettuce, you know, stinging nettle, ashitaba, Johnera procamens, or longevity spinach. Basically, every different leafy green, we want to be getting in a lot of that stuff. Those are the most valuable vegetables in the vegetable kingdom. Is there a vegetable kingdom? But literally, once again, we could take a pound of spinach, right? A whole pound. Like, if you tried to eat a pound of spinach in a salad, most of you guys couldn't make it. You couldn't do it. Be like, oh, this is nasty. But if you juiced a pound of spinach, once again, it compresses down, so now you could get a whole pound of spinach in you in just 8 ounces or 1 cup of juice. Very simple, very easy. So yeah, supersize your vegetables by juicing. No other appliance in the world will allow you to do this except the juicer. It allows you to concentrate or supersize, not the bad things like the sodas or the soft drinks, you know, the burgers, but it allows you to supersize the best stuff on the planet, the vegetables. Number 2 reason why I like juicing instead of any other method is because it changes the texture, right? I know a lot of you guys, the reason why you don't like vegetables, maybe even like fruits, you like fruits like oranges, they're a soft texture. They literally almost melt in your mouth. They dissolve. They're really soft. But the carrots and leafy greens and things, they're like a hard, chewy, crunchy texture that you guys might not like, right? But when you juice the vegetables as well as the fruits, right, it removes all the fiber or the majority of the fiber depending on the juicer. And so the texture is much more agreeable to many people. So that's very important, okay? Number 3, you're concentrating the nutrients like I talked about a little bit earlier. you know, 1 pound of carrots now, 1 cup of juice, you got all the nutrients in there. Another reason why I like to juice my vegetables is because it just tastes better. You know, a good carrot juice made with, for example, Bunny Love carrots. They're actually really sweet carrots, not like carrots that taste like dirt. I know you've had those before. But Bunny Love organic carrots, they actually taste sweet. And it's super delicious, and I really look forward to drinking straight carrot juice. Not that I'd recommend that if you guys hate vegetables. But, you know, straight carrot juice tastes amazing, so it's going to taste better by simply juicing it and liberating and getting rid of the fiber. You know, the fiber will basically hinder, and the flavors will not be as strong or as good, and when you juice stuff, it tastes better. Like, for example, when you juice an orange, right? You could eat an orange, yeah, okay, you know, eating an orange is good, but when you juice it and have orange juice, it tastes way better. And I know you guys love orange juice, right? And other fruit juices, I hope. So yeah, that's some of the reasons why I really like the juicing, you know, mainly supersize, you know, change that texture, make it much more agreeable, you know, high nutrition, it's so concentrated, get that in you, and it just tastes better, all right? So next, after knowing all that, what juicer do you buy? What juicer do you get? Well, the juicer I'm using today is called the Slow Star juicer. I'll put a link down below this video for a video I made on the best juicer for beginners, and I recommend actually the Slow Star if you are a beginner juicer, because the thing is, this juicer is probably one of the most versatile juicers out there. It'll juice a variety of things. It'll juice, you know, leafy greens, hard vegetables, fruits. It'll juice wheatgrass and sprouts if you pre-cut them and juice them with some hard vegetables. And besides that, unlike other juicers, you know, it has another feature here. It comes with a whole new attachment right here. This is known as the mincing attachment or the blank attachment. And what this does, instead of separating out the juice for you, it basically just grinds everything up into a mush. So I've made salsa in here, I've made my own nut butters in here, and most importantly, what I like to make in here the most is frozen fruit sorbets. And I know if you guys hate vegetables and you guys are trying to eat healthier, right? It's way healthier to basically take some ripe bananas, you peel them, you freeze them, you put them, you know, put them through the machine with this attachment, and it turns it into like a frozen yogurt consistency, like those frozen yogurt machines or soft serve machines at your favorite fast food place. It's so delicious. And then take some of the, maybe a little bit of the vegetable juice, some kale juice, mix in a little kale juice with your fruit sorbet. You'll just taste the fruit sorbet. It'll be a green colored banana sorbet. 100% bananas, no ice cream, no monodiglycerides, no, you know, corn syrup, none of these bad things in there for you. 100% fruit. So that's why I like the Slow Star, because it allows you to do more things than just juice, and I'm not going to really get into that in this video, but check the link down below, my best juicer for beginners, and make some really cool recipes in there. But what I'll be juicing today for you guys is a way I want to recommend you guys get your vegetables in you if you hate or dislike them, right? You want to hide them with your fruits, right? So here's the thing. What we're going to do is we're going to juice 5 oranges, right? We got 5 oranges that I've peeled here. These are just the standard oranges. Now, the juicer could handle the orange peel, no problem. You could put oranges through there. The problem is, you can't. In the orange peel, there's a certain natural occurring chemicals or things that the orange makes so that it deters bugs, right? Maybe a property called D-limonene, which is actually used for killing ants, and that's so the ants don't eat the oranges, right? And so these undigestible chemicals, if you juice the whole orange with the skin and all, right, you'd get like some weird funky burps, you'd get gas and bloating. Not fun. I mean, you know, I wouldn't do that. But what we want to do is we want to peel the orange. So I took like a vegetable peeler, you could use a paring knife, and we just cut off all the orange coloring, but we're leaving the most important parts of the orange, just that white pith. This is where the majority of the vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals are in the orange, not just simply that orange water. When you drink standard orange juice out of the store and they just basically press the juice out of the orange, you're getting orange water. But when we juice the orange with the white pith, it's like a darker, richer orange juice that's even kind of like milky and frothy, and it's not quite as sweet because the white pith is you know, not sweet, so it balances that out. Plus, it gives you, you know, a lot higher levels of vitamin C and bioflavonoids, hesperin, and rutin. So that's what we're juicing today. We're juicing 5 of these guys, peeled oranges. We're also going to juice some carrots. So, you know, if you don't like carrots, a good way to get vegetables in, just juice, you know, 5 oranges, and I got actually 5 carrots. So that'd be a great recipe right there, just to kind of get a few carrots in you, or some vegetables, right, if you absolutely hate them. And if you hate them a lot, and you're like, John, I don't know if I'm going to like that. 5 carrots, man, that sounds like a lot. It's going to like tip me over the edge. I'm going to hate it. All right, here's what you do. Juice 1 small carrot. Juice 5 oranges. I swear to God, you will not taste the carrot, so help me. Okay? And that's the thing, right? When you have the juice machine yourself, you guys get to choose the recipe you want to make. You're in control, right? Don't let the store, the company, different places that are making and manufacturing things and selling it to you that are highly processed and not as good as making it yourself, like buying store-bought juices, even if they're in the refrigerated section. You know, they've been processed, whether they've been heat processed or they've been processed through high pressure pasteurization, right? These are processes that degrade some of the nutrients in there. And so we want to make it fresh and also drink it as soon as you can after you make it, right? And once again, you know, if you start out like, I'm not going to laugh at you if you juice 5 oranges and 1 carrot. You're not going to taste the carrot. Do this for a week, right? You're going to be like, man, John, that's good. I don't even taste the carrot. Now you got 5 more carrots in you than you didn't have before, right? Then the next week, right, guess what? Get another small carrot. That whole next week, juice 5 oranges, 2 carrots. Now you got 2 carrots more, or 10 carrots more if you did it 5 days in a row than you didn't have in you. You kind of see what I'm going with this, right? And this is important if you're doing this with kids also, right? So that they don't detect that you're sneaking in the vegetables in their food. And you're going to slowly incorporate, like the 3rd week, add 3 carrots, right? And you're like, oh, John, I'm tasting that carrot in there. I don't like it so much. All right, cut it into half. Then change it to 2.5 carrots for the rest of the week, right? All right, John, I can deal with that. Then do that for like a week or even 2 weeks, right? And the thing is this, if you guys hate vegetables, it's because your taste buds have not adjusted to vegetables because you guys haven't been eating them, right? It's like it's like when I go swimming in the ocean or a pool, if it's like cold water, right? I'll like I'm a wimp, man. I'll stick my foot in. It's like, oh man, it's cold. And then I'll like go in like, I'll keep sticking my foot in and keep walking in really slowly so the water level goes up on me slowly, right? And by the time the water gets to my waist, that's the most part I don't like the most. I'll go real slow. And my girlfriend's like, come on, John, get in. And I don't like it, but you go slow and you know, you work up to it, right? And the same thing when you got your own juicer, you get to work up to it, and it takes a while for your taste buds to change and get used to eating some of these things, much like it takes my body some time to acclimate to get into cold water when I'm going into swimming or going into ocean, right? And you guys can do it. And so I want you guys to acclimate at the level you guys feel comfortable with and the level that your taste buds are comfortable with, right? And so you guys be the judge, right? If like 3 carrots are too much, pull back to 2 and keep that up for a year. That's still better than not eating the carrots at all, right? But I want you guys to even get more carrots in you. So anyways, the recipe I'm doing today is, I'm used to eating fruits and vegetables anyways. But I'm doing 5 oranges, 5 carrots, and then I'm going to do, you know, as a bonus, 10 ounces of the baby spinach. Now, if I was starting out, you know, I might only do like one thing of 5 ounces of baby spinach, because that's only 5 ounces. That's not a lot, right? This is going to, 5 ounces of baby spinach is going to compress down to like, what is it? Like 2 ounces of juice. It's like insane. So it's really not going to be that much, but you're going to get the nutrition from the spinach. Now, a tip for you guys, if you don't like the vegetables, right? A lot easier than eating, you know, large, mature spinach leaves is to eat the baby spinach or the baby vegetables. Much more agreeable. They have a more neutral flavor. They're not like quite as strong. So I would recommend that for you guys. So whether you guys want to go and, you know, get some little packets like this, 5 ounces, or whether you guys have like a club store membership, Costco or Sam's, BJ's, they all have bulk sizes of these baby vegetables that are, you know, pre-washed. That also makes juicing easier, but also they're a lot more mild. So you could start getting them into you before you graduate to the more mature vegetables that I'll be doing in a second. Alright, so I guess without further ado, let's get into juicing this stuff. Now the main thing to remember when juicing is that you want to rotate the items you're putting in the machine. Don't just put like all the oranges, then all the carrots, and then all the greens. You want to put a little bit of each at each time. So I'm just going to go ahead and get doing this. I'm going to turn this machine on. We're going to go ahead and take this spinach, rip off the top of this package. I really like that they triple wash this stuff. And we're just going to go ahead and take a handful of these spinach leaves and drop it down in the chute there. Next, we're going to take a piece of orange, push that in there, and then we're going to follow that by pushing a little bit of carrot in the machine. And once you do that, you guys can see instantly the juice starts coming out. The green is the dominant color. Oops. Once we got that in there, we're going to go ahead and put another orange and another handful of these spinach greens here. As you guys can see on this side, we got the pulp coming out, and once again, we're going to go ahead and push in, some oranges after the spinach, and then maybe follow that with a little bit of the carrot in there, kind of help it push through. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just juice up the rest of this stuff, then I'll come back at you when I'm done. All right, so I'm almost done juicing. We've got a last handful of spinach going right in the machine. We're going to go ahead and follow that by an orange. Push that right in there, followed by some carrot to push it on down in there. Then we're going to go ahead and put some orange, and we're going to finally just rotate the rest of our orange and carrots right in the machine. Now, as you guys can see, this created a lot of juice here. Let's see, I think we're out of oranges now. We got that last carrot going in there, and here's the last piece of carrot here. So as you guys can see now, we created a bunch of juice here. And you might be thinking, John, that's like a lot of oranges, man. That's like, and yeah, you would be right. So this is mostly orange juice with vegetables, and because orange kind of like has a really overpowering citrus like sweetness, you're really not going to taste the vegetables. You're like thinking, John, but it's green. Well, yeah, that's the spinach, because the dominant color, although it's going to be dominated by oranges and that's the taste, the green turns to green, because I guess green is more dominant over orange, and I guess usually it's the darker colors usually take precedence when you're juicing, right? And this was my recipe today. Not to say that you guys should make this recipe each and every day, but the thing is, I want to teach you guys like concepts. So the concept is, juice fruits, like whether that in this situation it was orange dominated with some vegetables, and I recommend for you guys, if you guys are starting out, like don't try to put like 500 different vegetables or even 20 vegetables or even 10 vegetables in your juice, right? Keep it as simple as 2, maybe 3 vegetables. Like this is one of my favorite recipes: carrots, orange, and greens. And keep it down to 2 or 3 different ingredients total, right? If you start putting everything under the sink, let me tell you, you're gonna make some nasty ass stuff. You're gonna hold your nose and drink it, just so they have to pour it down the sink, right? So keep it really simple, right? So I like a fruit dominated with some vegetables, and the more mature and the more you start liking vegetables, the less fruit you could take. So as much as we had 5 oranges and we had like a bunch of carrots, if you can't handle a lot of carrots, reduce the carrots. But once you start doing this a while, you're gonna get to the point where, man, John, I'm up to like 5 oranges and 20 carrots. Well, then maybe like you could take out a couple oranges and reduce the oranges, so you have mostly carrots and mostly vegetables and less fruit. Nowadays I'm actually to the point where I don't really even need I don't even need the fruits in with my vegetables, although sometimes I like it. Now, besides using the oranges, other fruits you could use that really work well, even my favorite more than oranges, I don't have any today, are pineapples. So 1 pineapple with like 1 beet or 5 carrots, right, and some greens, man, you're gonna taste the pineapple juice. Pineapple juice is super delicious. Another thing I like to do a lot is apples or pears. Apples, pears with carrot and some greens. That's another one that's just like really good. Apples are relatively sweet. I do like to juice the Fuji apples for the highest and sweetest apple. If you want a non-sweet apple, then you would use something like the Granny Smith apples, right? But yeah, probably like those are my favorite, like orange. Oh, and then tangerines, also another good one I like a lot. And that's probably it. I like to do like the citrus, orange, tangerine, or pineapple, some of the acid fruits, or like apples or pears or Asian pears. Those are some other good fruits I like to use. Generally, I won't use other fruits because they're kind of like, I don't think they actually mix as well, and they may not digest as well, like mangoes and greens. I've never tried that. And mangoes, because of a softer texture, they don't juice as well. Now when you are selecting fruits to juice, this is very important. You want to get nice, hard, firm fruits. So don't get apples that are soft that you're at the store, you're pressing them and it dents your finger in. These are last year's apples because they've been in cold storage, and actually this time of year, you know, early in the year, they're not this year's apples yet though, so they're apples from last year, or they're being imported and they're not the highest quality, so that means you're going to get more pulp in your juice when you're juicing them. Another concern you guys might have is, John, man, you juice 5 oranges. That's a lot of sugar. All right, so yeah, I mean, in oranges, not only is there you know, the sugar, which consists of fructose, glucose, and sucrose in varying amounts, but there's also water, phytonutrients and phytochemicals, vitamins and minerals. And so we're not just extracting only the sugar. Like if you guys are drinking Coke or soda or whatever like that, that stuff's that has sugar, but it's worse sugar because it doesn't come with, you know, natural, you know, water that's been filtered by the plant, living source of water. It doesn't come with the vitamins and minerals. It just comes with the sugar. So, you know, I always want to teach you guys good, better, best. And if juicing some fruits are going to allow you to get some vegetables in you, and you don't eat vegetables, that's like way better than not getting them in you. Now, yes, over time, you know, you might want to reduce the fruits, especially if you are, you know, sensitive to things like fruit juice. And what I'm going to do after I make the fruit juice, I'll show you guys a recipe with only vegetables without any fruits that's, you know, fairly mild as well. So yeah, so once we're done, we're going to go ahead and put the stopper down so it doesn't drip on your counter. And then now you have a fresh juice here. Now this juicer will put a bit of, you know, standard pulp in the juice. So that's the insoluble fiber in the juice. Once again, in the juice contains all the soluble fiber, and in carrots it's like 50%. So this you know, juice still contains 50% of the fiber overall. Let's see, a lot of you guys may like some of the fiber, and some of you guys don't want to have the fiber. If you guys are, you know, don't like that texture, try this out first and see. If you like it, drink it as is. That's great. That'd probably be the best. If you don't like the fiber, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take like a glass, take a funnel, or you can do it in a pitcher. And then the Tri-Best Slow Star comes with a really nice high quality stainless steel sieve with actually nice small holes. So this is going to remove most of the fiber for you guys, so you can have a nice texture. So we're going to go ahead and pour this in there. And as you guys can see, I'm just shaking this down and getting all the main fiber out of it. So I'm going to have, you know, a really clean and smooth juice. So let me go ahead and filter this out, and we'll come back at you when I'm done. Alright, so it looks like I got this finally strained out. Normally I use a sieve that actually is not quite as fine as this because I like a little bit of pulp in my juice. This takes out virtually all the pulp, so it can consequently take a little bit of time to strain it out. But let me tell you, your time invested will be worth it. Then you're going to have a nice strained juice, and then we're going to go ahead and taste this for you guys. I can't wait. That tastes good. I taste orange, and I taste the carrot a little bit, and I taste virtually like no spinach, like for me personally. Now this is a little bit thicker consistency. It's probably due to the like the pith in the orange. It makes it kind of like a little bit frothy. I like that a lot. So yeah. Juicing the best way you could juice your vegetables. Now, this was a recipe with fruit. Next, what I want to do is get set up and actually just juice a really quick recipe with 100% vegetables to show you guys how easy it can be and how delicious it can taste as well if you don't want to juice the fruit. So now I'm going to show you guys a vegetable juice recipe that doesn't have as much of the sweet fruit, although it does contain some fruit. So the fruit I'll be juicing today is this guy. It's a cucumber. This is a striped Armenian cucumber. They're actually quite sweet. I love them a lot. You might be thinking, John, are you like brain dead, man? Like, cucumbers, they're a vegetable. Well, a lot of common vegetables that we think of as vegetables are not really vegetables at all. So now you guys instantly, if you don't like vegetables, it's alright to like some vegetables that are really fruits. So cucumbers, they're really a fruit because they contain seeds, right? True vegetables like celery and chard and collard greens, they're true vegetables, but things like cucumbers, bell peppers, tomatoes, and even zucchini squash, they're all botanically defined as a fruit because they contain seeds. So in general, these vegetables that are really fruits taste a lot better than standard vegetables. So you guys could maybe, like more vegetables now that are really fruits. So yeah, so the recipe today, we're going to juice one striped Armenian cucumber. Now, if you can't get striped Armenian cucumbers that are quite rare, you might have to look at your farmer's market or grow it yourself. Oh, and that's another tip for you guys. If you guys don't like vegetables, grow your own vegetables. Start your own garden. If you grow yourself and you grow healthy vegetables in good, nutritious soil, they're going to taste way better than the stuff at the store. Number one, you grew it yourself in good soil, and I teach how to grow it yourself if you guys want to learn at growingyourgreens.com. Number two, you're going to pick them fresh and then use them, because once vegetables are picked and shipped, they start tasting nasty. Like, I can barely eat kale out of the store. When you harvest and pick kale, put it in a refrigerated truck and ship it across the country, I don't blame some of you guys why you guys don't like vegetables. The quality of the stuff, even if it's organic, come out the store, is horrible. So minimally, if you can't grow yourself, which I highly encourage you guys, shop your local farmers markets, and more importantly, ask the farmer that you're buying from, hey, when did you guys harvest this stuff? And you want to try to buy the stuff that was most recently harvested. So I really admire the farmers that wake up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and are out there with headlamps on, harvesting their stuff so that they can bring it fresh to you guys. Because that stuff's not only going to be more nutritious, it's also going to taste better. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, try to pick out the baby vegetables. They're going to taste a lot more mild. So yeah, we're going to juice Armenian cucumber, and if you can't find this, get a standard, instead of striped Armenian, get a regular Armenian, and if you can't find those, instead get English cucumbers. They're by far the best tasting cucumbers, most mild you're going to get. But yeah, these guys are actually a little bit sweet. So yeah, we got one cucumber, then we're going to juice up 5 stalks of celery. So just this juice alone, just cucumber and celery, hey, that's kind of cool. What number is that? But just this recipe alone really reminds you of almost drinking water. It's really nice and mellow. It doesn't taste that strong, especially if you strain it out. It's going to taste quite delicious, right? But, so this would be a good starter base recipe to add things to. And if you can't do this recipe just like this is for people that don't want to juice fruit, you can add some fruit to this and make it even taste better, like a pineapple with like celery and cucumber. That's going to taste amazing. But we're going to push it up to the next level a little bit. We're going to go ahead and juice some greens too. So, once again, start out slow, especially the greens. They could taste a lot stronger. We're only juicing 2 leaves, a collard green leaf and a Swiss chard leaf, along with 5 stalks of celery, 1 huge cucumber. So as you guys can see, this recipe is dominated by fruit, which is this Armenian cucumber that's getting sliced up into pieces as we speak. So let's go ahead and turn this machine on. You always want to put the softest produce item in the machine first, which is this Armenian cucumber. I like that in the slow start juicer, literally an auto feed, so you literally just put the piece of produce in there. I'm going to go ahead and slice that in half, and look at that. Drop that in, and it just sucks it right in, and we get this really mild looking 100% cucumber juice. This is not the same as cucumber water, sticking a little bit of cucumber into water, right? You're not getting all the nutrients out of the cucumber. And I really like to juice the cucumbers with a nice dark, deep skin. It's definitely going to be healthier for you. So now that we're juicing the cucumber, you can just use straight cucumber juice. That's amazing. Actually, that's what I'm doing this time of year. Just bought 50 pounds of cucumbers, picked them myself at the local farm, and drink cucumber juice instead of drinking water to stay hydrated. Because not only does the cucumber juice have the water I need, but it also has the vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals. And also, it's a living, structured water. This is huge. This is important. Most of you guys are not drinking living, structured water. You guys are drinking tap water, even bottled water that's been sitting in a plastic bottle. This is water that's not alive. It doesn't have the life force energy that fresh fruit and vegetable juices will contain. All right, now let's go ahead and put in this Swiss chard. Drop that in there. We're going to go ahead and stick it in, pull it up. Stick it in, pull it up so that it doesn't chunk off too big of pieces at any one time. Looks like that's working fairly well. Now we're just going to go ahead and shove the rest of it in there, and we're going to follow that up with some celery to help push it in. Now I encourage you guys, when using like a slow juicer, to not use the pusher if you could at all get away with it, right? You want to try to use the fruits and vegetables and basically let them auto feed so that you don't have to use the pusher, because a lot of times when you use the pusher, you're going to be feeding in things a little bit quicker than the juicer can allow, and which means you're going to get more pulp in the juice, and maybe your yield is not going to be as high. I think what I'm going to do next is actually just juice the rest of this stuff up, and we'll come back at you when I'm done. Alright, so I'm just about done juicing this recipe in the slow start juicer. Once again, we're going to go ahead and put that soft item, the cucumber, since it's actually really a fruit, a lot softer than the celery, and then we're going to go ahead and finally finish off by juicing the celery. You always want to put the hardest produce item in last, whether that's carrots or celery or something else. You don't want to ever try to like have the last ingredient that you're putting into the slow juicer anyways is leafy greens or fruits. It's generally not going to work as well. So as you guys can see, just like 5 stalks of celery, 2 leafy greens, and 1 huge Armenian cucumber turned into 4 cups of juice. That was a lot of produce. I don't know if I could sit there and eat that much produce, but I could easily drink 4 cups of juice, right? That's like 32 ounces. That's like a supersized soda, right? Now this one's not going to taste as sweet as the orange one I made previously, but it's not going to really have a strong, objectionable flavor. It's going to be really nice and mild, especially because this recipe is dominated by cucumber. So cucumber is another ingredient that you could dominate your recipes with. You know, if you want to use other fruits to dominate your recipe with that are not sweet fruits, you could use either cucumber like I did today, something like bell pepper, another great fruit to juice. Tomatoes, if you're going to be juicing tomatoes, make sure you get the small cherry tomatoes, or Roma tomatoes or Campari tomatoes that are nice and hard. You know, you don't want to get soft tomatoes, they're not going to juice as well. And keep in mind that tomatoes, you know, when you juice them, will kind of get maybe more of a thicker texture, like a nectar consistency versus a really clean, thin juice. So bell peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini. Zucchini is another great one that you could use to get more vegetables in you, but they're really a fruit. This is important if you guys want to do don't do this if you don't want to do the sweet fruits. Of course, another fruit you could use, which is a fruit because it contains seeds, although we think of it as a vegetable, is pumpkin. I've also juiced pumpkins, through the juicer, and that works as well. That doesn't make a lot of juice, and it's also a really nice, mild flavor. Alright, so that looks like it's done. We're going to go ahead and turn this off. Now I want to show you guys what we are not eating today. All the pulp from both the recipe I made earlier with the oranges and the carrots and the spinach, and from this recipe, the cucumber, 2 leaves, and 5 celeries are all in here. This is all the fiber. This is what we're not eating. Now I'm never going to say fiber is not important, but what I will say is what's more important than the fiber that you guys get is the phytochemicals. Phytochemicals over fiber is what I say. They're much more important. We can't digest fiber. Fiber helps keep us regular. And I know a lot of you guys are not regular, which is not too good either. We're not going to get into that. But fiber keeps you regular. So if you want some juice with the fiber, take this stuff out and plop it and mix it back in, right? This juicer puts a nice amount of fiber already in the juice. Once again, the insoluble fiber, but we're getting all the soluble fiber in there already. So let's see, we're going to go ahead and pour this guy out and show you guys what we got. Look at that, that's a nice clean consistency. I see a little bit of pulp, but it's like mostly liquid. Going right in there. Let me go ahead and taste this for you guys. That's a nice mild flavor. Like, for some people, the celery, if you guys hate celery, do mostly cucumber with 1 stalk of celery and 1 or 2 leaves, right? We want to make it easy for you guys to get more vegetables in so that you guys get started. I mean, that's the most important thing. You guys are serious enough to walk through this whole video. That lets me know that you guys are serious about making changes, about getting more vegetables in you. So I applaud you guys I applaud you guys for doing that. But the next thing is you need to take the next step. Watching this video is great, but you need to get a juicer and start juicing. Start experimenting, start having fun and playing in the kitchen. That's what I do each and every day when I make one of these videos, which I have over 400 videos on this channel to help you guys select the right juicer, teach you guys all about juicing, teach you guys why fruits and vegetables are some of the most important foods on the entire planet. I just have fun. And when you have a juicer, you can start playing in the kitchen again, start making recipes, and start including small amounts of those vegetables, and slowly build up over time and build up the amount of vegetables you eat. And even if you still eat junk food, fast foods, and processed foods, I'm never going to tell you guys what you guys shouldn't eat, but what I do want to say is what you guys should eat. I want you guys to eat more fruits and vegetables and crowd out all the crappy foods. I've met plenty of vegans that are vegan, and just because they don't eat animals or other products from animals doesn't mean you're going to be healthy. I've met plenty of vegans that don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. And the main determination of somebody being healthy or not is if they eat enough vegetables and, of course, the fruits, but concentrating on the vegetables. You could eat any kind of diet. You could eat a fast food, junk food diet, and I don't care if you eat McDonald's once a week, but every day you're pounding in the vegetables. You will be much healthier than the next guy, and that's what I want for each and every one of you guys. So the next step is you guys need to get a juicer. You want to be sure to support me and my work if you guys enjoyed this video by visiting discountjuicers.com to make your purchase. Also be sure to thumbs this video up if you liked it. Also be sure to click the subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes I have coming out about every 5 to 7 days, teaching you guys all about juicing and comparing the different juicers. And as I mentioned before, check my past episodes. I have over 450 videos now comparing the different juicers so that you guys can get the right juicer for you. I guess the final thing I'd like to say is I hope this video was valuable for you guys. I make these only because my life has been changed by including more vegetables and fruits. I know the power of the vegetables and the fruits, and as much as you guys hate them, you guys can start to get to liking them, and it takes your time for your taste buds to change. So you need to get started today so you're up to speed later, and you can increase the amount of fruits and vegetables and decrease the amounts of junk foods, processed foods, and animal foods in your diet so that you could be healthier and you could get all the benefits that I talked about earlier in this video. So with that, be sure to check the links down below in the description for some of the other videos I mentioned and referenced in this video. Once again, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors. Alright, this is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. What we're going to do today is show you my pick for the best all-purpose juicer for beginners. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there may have never juiced before, and you're looking at my videos to try to figure out the best juicer for you, and keep on watching because I have over 400 videos on this YouTube channel